great energy at the start, and then Zach's so special. It's crazy. Ryan and I had Zach when he was 18 in Minnesota, and to see where he's at now, he's such a unique, special offensive player. But I thought the guys stuck with it. There wasn't second guessing the fact that we're going to stay in single coverage when he got hot. You got to stay with things, be consistent with them, and hope that in the 48 minutes it's going to work out for you in the end. So that was great to see. And honestly, my favorite part about the whole game was Nicola continued to pass the ball to the open man. And if we want to win big games down the stretch, and if we're lucky enough to be in big games at the end of April and May and whatever, you have to trust your teammates. Those guys have to take those shots, trust they can make them. And you saw a lot of guys tonight make really big shots at key times. Michael's shot was enormous. Aaron's shot, and obviously Jalen in the third quarter. So it was just good to see the confidence to shoot the open shot and not bleed the shot clock and make Nicola take an 18-foot fadeaway all the time. So it was good to see.
Do you feel like the scoring burden is kind of worn on Nicola recently?
I don't really think anything wears in him. Honestly, he's just the most mentally tough person I've ever been around in sports. So tonight he just feels it and plays the game that's given to him. And 3 people are going to guard me. Somebody's open, probably 2. So I love the consistency, and I think as he did that throughout the game in the second half, he found easy baskets, free throws, because now they're disjointed a little bit. There's a little less belief when you see Jalen make 3 straight threes. It's you start to feel like you have to deviate, and I didn't think we did tonight. So really good spirit with the guys, and by the way, good spirit with the guys is we lost 4 games in a row. That's why we needed a win. We're trying to make the playoffs. They got together and they got it done.
On a personal level, just how nice does it feel to get a win in your first game in this role?
Undefeated, it's great. No, I'll be honest. This group really cares about each other. They did 48 hours ago. They do now, and it's like I said before the game, just different roles. That's it. Everybody takes a little step up. Everybody's helping each other out like we always did. Just trying to accomplish something on that given night to win that given game.
Coach, I know you don't mind though if you just throw this question out there. To do it in an environment that you grew up in front of the fans, that your father coached, how did that make you feel? And this is your first, journey into this head coaching.
Right. Honestly, I think the cool part is when you grow up in it, this stuff. I don't know if it affects you less, but you've been around these environments so much, and this is one of the best crowds, always has been, one of the best fan bases, one of the best basketball towns in the league. So it's special to come here and win because it's an actual basketball venue. It's not people buying tickets just to check something out in town. These people care about that team, and that's unique. It really is, and it's one of those things where you feel it. Like when Keon made the 3 in the corner, the place exploded. I didn't like that he made it, but that's a cool feeling. I like being in that environment, in this place. If you want to find that environment, it's in Sacramento.
Coach, Nicola was particularly animated in most of the huddles. Was that part of the plan, or is he just want to take on a little more responsibility and trying to fire up the guys and drawing plays and all that stuff?
We were trying to give them a little more leeway to let them communicate and talk first. So now that doesn't always go well, but it did tonight. And I talked about it before the game, but you have to be okay with criticism from your teammates. These are your brothers. Like, you guys are going through this journey together. They're not being personal with you. They're trying to accomplish a goal for that night. So if we can do that, and it can be a positive going forward, that really helps when things get tough. Them relying on one another, because then that bleeds onto the court, and the communication gets better. You go from the timeout to the court. That's where you really see good things. So, yeah, there was a bunch of examples. Aaron was great. CB, unfortunately, I have him breaking the huddle now. I guess that's his new thing. I'm not sure if he's comfortable with it, but he stepped up, so that's his role now.
You talked about other things that Jalen did. The second quarter and the fourth quarter, you subbed him in. Things had gotten chaotic for you guys.
Yeah.
And you guys got 3 good possessions in a row. Each time you subbed him in that second and fourth quarter. How important were those possessions, and what did you see out of those possessions?
Steadiness. I mean, that is Jalen. Like, he's a steady kid. I think his biggest growth in the NBA is he is an old school point guard, the way he brings the ball up, and so everybody thinks they're going to pick him up. And it was effective when he first came in the league, and now he's found a way to navigate the ball up the floor in his style, and allows us to run and execute sets because he's a really good screener, he's a really good catch and shoot guy, and he's got a good feel for just staying in his own lane. And when you have players as good as some of our guys are, if you can just do that, you can play. And you're right, there was a theme there. He did a really good job of taking care of the ball, getting us into our stuff, and like I said, being steady.
David, you mentioned the word vibe. How would you describe the vibe tonight? You mentioned it pregame.
Yeah, I like I said, I think it was a reaction to obviously what went on the last 30 hours, and like I said, I think competitive people don't want to lose 5 games in a row. So you can look at it this way or that way, or they made a change and this happened. I don't really buy that. I think this is professional sports, and if you get used to losing, you shouldn't be in this. And I think that was a big part of it too. It was the emotion of what happened and the fact that, man, we've been embarrassing lately. We got to win a game. So it's cool to win in this environment, as you brought up.
David, apologies if you had asked this pregame because I missed your visit. But
You missed out.
I wonder once the organization made those tough decisions, but once kind of the spotlight internally came to you, just how did you handle your voice with the team, and what was the approach in terms of getting this ball rolling and the impact you want to have?
Yeah, this sounds crazy, but I've been talking to the team for 8 years, and so I didn't feel like there was a big difference. I mean, I'm doing pre-games, I'm doing walkthroughs, I'm doing film sessions, all of them on one side of the ball. And so they've heard my voice forever, especially Nicole, Jamal, Michael. So to me, it was different responsibilities and delegation and in-game, but behind closed doors, I didn't really feel any difference. Outside of the stress of what had gone on, I don't think they heard me any different than they've heard me before. And so it felt pretty natural in that sense to step into it. This was completely different, obviously, running through the game and the delegation of what we're doing and all that. But yeah, it felt pretty comfortable.
Last one, Chris.
What was the celebration like in the locker room after the win? Did the team have a special water shower for you when you walked in or anything?
No, they've done that to me before in the past. I'm glad they didn't because I really mean this. We got 2 games left. So it's cool. I'm sure it's a fun story and everything, but that's not the story. The story is the Nuggets need to win, and we need to win Friday. And we got to bring it Friday. And we got to bring it Sunday. Me coaching the team tonight, what went on, you have to turn the page and you have to look at what's important. And what's important is us competing on Friday night. It's not about me or somebody else feeling better about themselves tonight or the teams, all that stuff. It's come together and let's do something cool and special with these last 2 games.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Coach.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
How's your voice?
Yeah.